Hi, Anikha.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
How you doing?
Oops, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Hold on. I think I had a little internet issue. I think
I
is
saw
it me
that.
or am
I
I
don't know.
frozen
I
or are
saw
you frozen?
yeah, your thing first too. You had a little loading sign.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. Is it better now?
Yeah, it's been good since it like reloaded.
Okay, let's start over. We'll start right now. Okay. Hi, Anikha.
Hi, Dave. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for joining me this evening. You're in Miami, right?
Yes. Yep.
When do you head to the games?
I will leave next Monday. Luckily, it's same time zone. It'll be cooler. Not a whole lot of acclimation needed for Albany.
Well, it's definitely going to be cooler there than it is in Miami, right?
I think anywhere's cooler than Miami right now.
Congratulations on qualifying.
Thank you. Thank you. Long time
This is
coming.
yeah, this is your first year in the games individual, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Tell us about your journey because I know you tried as a teen, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Let's
I
go
was.
all the way back.
Yeah, I mean, oh my gosh. Try to make it as short as possible. It is a long journey. It was so cool that they did that Road to the Games episode for me that I was so honored because that was like I've been wanting to tell that story for so long, and it was so cool that I got like the biggest platform in the space to be able to do that. And I got so many messages after it of people being like, wow, I didn't know that. That's so awesome. And it was really cool. But yeah, I started CrossFit when I was 13. Yeah, and the first year, yeah, it was 2017. I couldn't sign up for the open. I was too young. And I remember I did them with my affiliate and we like kept track of my scores and they were like, oh, you were like 40th in the 14 to 15 age division. Like next year you should really sign up. And I was like, that's awesome. Whatever. I sign up. I come 10th in the open. I have an issue with like a rope climb. I get a no rep. I end up being 21st that year. They took 20 to the game, so I miss it by 1 point. And I had like flipped. I remember being in math class in ninth grade and like sneaking my phone in my desk and like refreshing the page and seeing my name like flip from 20th to 21st like 4 times in ninth grade math class. Anyways, didn't end up in my favor. The next year I had an injury, wasn't training for a bit, and then they cut it from 20 to 10 for age groups. I aged up to, I was still 15, but I had to age into the older division, and I think I finished 15th. So would have qualified with 20, missed it because it was 10. That was pretty tough. I remember being like pretty bummed about that as well. Um, Final year was 2020, and that was when we saw the like surge of like Mal O'Brien, Olivia Sulek, Emma Carey, like all these girls that all of a sudden were, other than Haley, were all of a sudden doing really well as individuals too, not just as teens, like while they were still 16. And that year I came second to Emma Carey in online qualifiers, like broke through, made all this progress, was so stoked. Because at that point, 3 years, it felt like forever. Like I was like, wow, I've been waiting so long. It was just really 2 years now. Obviously, I'm like, that was nothing. And then it was COVID, obviously, and you guys had to cut, I mean, everything except 5 people, right? So
Yep.
no games for us. That was like a tough way to end my kind of teenage career. I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to make that jump to individual right away. So I had like focused more on school again, other things. And then that year, they switched the format to semifinals. My goal was to make a semifinal. I did, much easier than anticipated. And we kind of were like, holy crap, like you are good at this now, not in 5 years. And I kind of rethought my like life plan a bit. Did semis online that year, still COVID times in Canada. So all the Canadians got pushed to Atlas Games online. Miss it by one spot again. I think like maybe 1 or 2 points again too. But I was just like, it sucked. But at the same time, I was like, wow, I did not think I was going to be that close already. Like, that's so cool. I'm right there. I was 17 still. I was a senior in high school. Um, 2022, I have an issue with a score during quarterfinals. I don't remember if you remember, but I was with Danielle Brandon at Underdogs, and I had done quarterfinals there because I
Oh
was
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
figure out.
She
Yeah.
she called me
Yes, she called you, and
about
poor
you.
you were like, I can't do anything about that. I'm sorry. And we were like, well, we thought we'd try.
I didn't
But
realize I didn't realize that that was you that she was calling about until right
yeah.
now.
Yeah, no, that was me. Yeah, we tried our best, but yeah, that was a whole kind of mess. Just like tech error, me not screenshotting my score error, just like a terrible combination of things that meant I didn't even get to go to semis. And so obviously didn't go to the games. I didn't even get to go to semis, and like thought about quitting, debated my whole life, didn't. Moved to Miami because I realized I needed to be happier to continue training at the level I was. I was all alone in Canada. It was freezing. I was depressed. I had no training partners, no life. Um, Randomly stumbled across Peak in Miami. Noah had kind of taken me under his wing. Seemed like a really good place for me. Moved there. Missed the games again by 1 point, but I had had an injured back for most of the year. I switched coaches. Last year, fast forward to last year, finally, I'm like, all right, this is the year. I'm healthy. I've got a good support system. Like, if I don't qualify this year, I never will. Like, you have to. This is it. And that obviously ended up being a really unhealthy mindset to have. I put way too much pressure on myself. I let all of that kind of like that weight of the past 6 years like sit on me, and I bombed the first workout at semis. And after that, I just had this narrative in my head that like I didn't deserve to go. I didn't deserve any of the support I'd gotten, any of the belief I'd gotten from people. I was just like very mentally unwell. And so yeah, once again, I very well could have made it last year. It was not a physical problem. It was just a mental thing. And it comes down to the last event. I drop the dumbbells. I get booted out of a game spot by 1 point again. I think I have to hold the record for misses by 1 point. That's got to be like, at least I get a medal for that or something. But whatever. It was I mean, at that point, I'm 20. I just turned 22. I was still 21 at that point. It's not like I was like, well, this is the end of it's the end of the line. But that is how I felt in a way. So yeah, after last year, I spent a lot of time getting my brain right. I took a lot of time off CrossFit and training, figured out how my brain needs to be to train functionally and train at this level functionally, because it's not like a one size fits all kind of recipe. Not everybody can have the same approach to training for this kind of stuff. Found a really good space for me to be in mentally, and like just a system, my people here, my activities, things I do. And I think it really paid off this year. I am so much healthier mentally. I love this more than I have in a long time, like so much happier and like passionate about what I'm doing. So yeah, it worked out. Long 7 years though.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot.
I know. I'm like, I tried to shorten it too.
And we spent a lot of time together last year because you were on the demo team.
Yes. Yeah.
But like most of this, we never talked about any of this.
Yeah, of course.
So 13, you found CrossFit at 13. Why did you go into the CrossFit gym at 13?
I was a gymnast. I wasn't a very good one. Like there's some girls doing CrossFit now, they were like, oh, I was a gymnast, and they were like, good. I just like did gymnastics. But my main sport was horseback riding. I did show jumping.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I did that until I basically moved to Miami and sold my horse. But that was my everything. But I needed something to keep me in shape. Because you have to be really fit to do that, but it's not necessarily going to make you fit. But I was doing gymnastics. I had to have surgery on my ankle. It's like once you hit 12 and you're not going to the Olympics in gymnastics, like you're done. It's very small age cap. But yeah, I actually watched The Spy Next Door with Jackie Chan. And I was like, oh, I want to do martial arts. I really wanted to get into like martial arts. And so we found a Taekwondo gym, which like, he's not even doing Taekwondo in the movie. He's doing Kung Fu and whatever. I found a Taekwondo gym. And just by chance, because I'm from a really small island in Canada where there's like 2 CrossFit gyms on the whole island, like not a populous place. We get everything 10 years late. So CrossFit was so new there too.
On the West Coast?
East Coast.
East Coast. Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, like you wouldn't be able to spot it on a map unless you were really looking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to the Taekwondo gym. I did a trial. He was like, oh, you're like pretty strong. And I was like, oh, I did gymnastics, whatever. But my friend's mom does powerlifting, and she thought I would be good at that. But I don't want to just lift. I want to be like athletic. I liked gymnastics. So I thought about fighting. And he was like, so you want to be an athlete, but also you like being strong. and you're pretty naturally athletic. He's like, I think you should try CrossFit. And I was like, I don't know what that is. So I started doing the kids classes after school. My bus would drop me off after school, and I would do a kids class with like 4 other kids. It was very small. Yeah,
Cool.
and I did that for a year until they were like, you're all the other kids kind of went off and did other things, and I stayed because I was obsessed with it. And they let me do the adult classes, and then I got to sign up for the open, and it just kind of progressed.
Did you ever follow up with that Taekwondo teacher and let him know how far you are involved in CrossFit, how far you progressed?
Yeah, it's actually so cute. So the guy who owned the Taekwondo gym also owned the CrossFit gym. It was in the
Okay.
same
Yeah.
space. He
Yeah.
did both. He was like Canada Jackie Chan. He was a lawyer. He had a black belt in Taekwondo, and he's a masters athlete at the game. He's been to the
Oh,
games as
no
a
kidding.
masters athlete. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, Mike Ives. So he owned that gym, and the co-owner of the gym, Brett, was my coach until I moved to Miami. So he coached me my whole teenage career. That gym supported me. Like, they made shirts for every qualifier. They would all come and watch me. Like, the absolute best of the CrossFit community in that gym.
Well, so you're at peak 360 now.
Hmm.
Do so tell Guido I said hello.
Yeah, I will.
Do you see him a lot?
Yeah, I see him all the time. Him and his daughters are there all the time right now because school's out, and his wife Virginia, they're there every day. Yeah.
I dropped in there a long time ago, and when I dropped in, I remember, I don't know if it's still there, but at the 400-yard turnaround point, 200 yards down the road, there was another affiliate, and so their turnaround point was another CrossFit gym. Is there still another gym a couple hundred yards away?
There's a ton of gyms on. I don't know if they're affiliates or if they're CrossFit,
Okay.
but there's like 3 gyms in that stretch. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. No, Miami's got a big fitness CrossFit
Yeah,
hub.
yeah. We've done a number of things there over the years. We did an open announcement. I think that was when I dropped in several years ago, and I've been for a variety of other reasons. Let me ask you a couple questions. So, what did you do, like, specifically to really get your head straight this year? In your words, I don't want to say your head was off, but like
You can. It was.
to get your mind right,
Yeah.
for this year after the previous years. What are some things you did differently?
Um, I think one of the challenges of being good at any sport, it's not just specific to CrossFit, being good at any sport at a young age and having the opportunity to do it full time at a young age, which is a massive blessing and really cool. But the problem is you sometimes forget who you are outside of that. And like, what makes you you? What do you like? What are you going to do if this all disappears? Like, very fundamental things that normal people develop when they go to college and they move away and they figure out what they like. They develop friend groups that don't just revolve around their sport, when it's like my job, my passion, and like everything about me was this one thing. And I think that's the case for, because I mean, we've seen a number of younger female, I think it's more common in females solely because we get better at a younger age because we hit puberty earlier. It's my personal opinion, but we've seen a number of young female athletes burn out and have to quit. And that's not specific to CrossFit. You see it in gymnastics all the time, figure skating, all of the, even hockey in Canada, young like athletes that'll just fall off after juniors because it's just, they can't hang on to it for that long. So for me, it was really about figuring out what makes me happy outside of this. Who am I outside of this? What do I bring to the table, to the world, to myself? Like, what value do I see in myself that doesn't just involve how I perform at CrossFit competitions, especially when you typically only really get one chance. It's not like team sports. You get tournaments every weekend. You get multiple chances. It's like we get kind of one chance to make it, and if you don't, there goes your whole year. Like, it's a tough kind of system. So for me, I just got happier. Like, I have a better circle here. I kind of found other things that I would want to do other than CrossFit someday. And that was really cool for me to think about and just like have as an idea. Cause like I've never been somebody who's like, I want to coach or open a gym. Like, I will always be a part of the CrossFit community. It's like it saved me in so many ways. It saved my parents, like incredible community. But I want to do interior design and I want to work with animals and like things that I lost because I gave CrossFit everything when I was 17. Finding things like that and things that make me feel like whole. And like I built a better friend system, like a friend base here, just like a bigger community that just like made me happier outside of, whether or not I make the games this year. And like that is actually Brent Fikowski. I talked to him a lot after semis last year, and he said a couple things to me that like rang very true in that sense of like, you have to be okay with being the guy who's just trying to be good at the thing. And I remember immediately being like, well, that's not me. Like, I'm not okay just trying to be good at this. Like, I want to win. I want to be the best. I want to whatever. And I was like, I'm not okay with that. But it was more complicated than that. And there was other things like, value and people around me that could be fixed that would make that a little easier. And that changed a lot.
Well, what's interesting about what you're saying? That's really great and beautiful that you're talking about all those things, because it's so important and so powerful for like young people and think they're going to be these pro athletes in CrossFit. For one, Sevon had told me he heard Dana White say this about UFC fighters and about professional athletes in general. Being a professional athlete, it's a privilege and it's a small time frame opportunity. It's not a career. It's not actually something you do for 20, 30 years or for the rest of your life. And you look at the average span of a professional athlete in the NFL, it's like 3 years. Average span of a professional NBA player, it's like 3 years. You even look at the CrossFit Games and the turnover every year, about 50% of the field, sometimes less, is turning over, and there's rookies. The people like Tia or like even Brooke or Matt or Rich who go for 8, 9, 10 years in a row, that's not the norm. That's the exception. And so thinking about things outside of CrossFit and what you're going to do outside of CrossFit is totally advisable and natural for all CrossFit athletes. And I do think, to your point, a lot don't think about that. And the fact that even you're saying you did start thinking about that and it puts you in a better headspace, and look where you are now, you're actually going to the games. So it's super cool to hear all of that. It's a very grounded perspective.
Yeah, I think that was it was, I mean, it also just comes with age, like I'm still 22, but like
it comes with age. You're more than half my age.
I know, I said that and I was like, oh, I gotta watch. I sometimes will say things like that. I'll be like, oh, I feel old, and they're like, can you shut up? I'm like, yeah, I'm my bad.
The average age of the competitors this year is like 26.2 years.
We've got some youngins. I'm not even the youngest one, which is like Lucy's younger than me, but no, I do think, and especially just like knowing a lot. I mean, like I can't name more than like a couple girls who I competed with as a teenager who are still doing it. And I remember looking up to them like I wished I was them. I remember being like 14, 15, like wishing I was them. Like these girls who were qualifying, they went 3 times. They went every year they tried. They went the first time they tried. I was like, wow, I like wish I was them. And now obviously I'm like, wow, what a blessing it was that I did not go when I was 14, because I would have quit. Because like it would have come too easy and I wouldn't have hung on. And like, so anyways, it's been really, it was very hard. Obviously that's like a hard change to make when it's like, I didn't want to let go of, I thought it would be giving up my like competitiveness and my desire to win. I thought I was having to sacrifice that to be okay with this kind of thing. Like I thought thinking about anything other than this meant that I wasn't competitive enough or I didn't want to win bad enough. But that's just not true. But it was hard to kind of let go of like, because I obviously want to go 8 years plus in a row. I want to win. I want to do all these things that will come with time. But like, you can have both. It doesn't have to be this singular complete obsession where you lose yourself entirely, or this lackadaisical approach where it doesn't matter. There's a really nice balance that I'm learning to strike. It's obviously still and probably will be a work in progress, but
well, it's great you've found it at such a young age. That's for sure.
Yes, hopefully it stays. Hopefully it's hopefully it's locked in there now.
For a couple minutes, we have a couple minutes left. Let's shift gears. Were you on the call today?
Oh no, I wasn't. I missed it. I had another call at 6.
Okay. Well, we announced that the jump ropes, you can use whatever rope you want.
Okay, cool.
Because a lot of people were worried that we were going to mandate Velita's ropes of the workout. Good mindset of the workouts that we've announced. What are you excited about?
Somebody announced a wheelhouse workout today. Thank you, Dave Castro. I love a back squat.
Okay.
So much. I might, that might be the single best event you could have announced for me. Like
Okay. Great.
there's some others that you could have announced that like I would have been like, oh heck yeah, but like this one, especially because it's something that we don't often test. You
No.
don't often get to do just like a single modality power lift with no other like,
Yep.
which I think it's important that we do sometimes, but it's not common. There's more
Yeah.
important.
We hardly ever, I don't think we've ever just tested a back squat like this. We've
Yeah.
done it in the CrossFit total. We've done overhead squat, but a back squat like this. Did you see? I also talked about this on the call earlier that you missed. They're giving, no, I don't mean that in any specific. It's fine that you missed it. A lot of people missed it. We're giving away, not giving away. There'll be event winners. So each event winner will get a $3,000 prize this year. And then our shoe sponsor for that event is also giving additional cash prize to first, second, and third for if you wear their lifters.
And I have their lifters. They're great lifters. Good event to be good at, I suppose.
Yes.
I mean, there's certainly events that I am not good at, but the thing with me is that I can counterbalance that with having home runs, and a 1 rep back squat I would certainly call a home run for me.
Awesome. Well, I enjoyed working with you last year on the demo team, and I'm really glad I don't have to work with you again this year on the demo team. I'm glad to see you on the other side. So I'm excited to see you compete. Actually, a number of you. So from the demo team last year, you, Tudor, and Colton.
Yeah.
So half the team made it.
Yeah, let's go. Hopefully next year the whole team will be back. We can have a full reunion.
Yes, that'd be awesome. All right. Well, thanks, Anikha. Appreciate the time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yep. Enjoy your evening, and I'll see you soon.
Yes, definitely. A week.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.